Community for Exceptional Minds. I just want to give you a big warm hug. I want to just provide something that would normally give you peace and comfort, like school would, or like a conversation, or time over coffee, or sharing lunch together. I wish I could provide the peace and security that for many of us, the building of school provided for us, or even the routines that we had provided for us, but we don't have that right now, and that's out of our control. But I want to communicate that I pray that you have peace. I pray that whatever you're going through, that you just feel a virtual warm hug from me, that you feel real hugs from your family or whoever you're able to be around, whoever is in your society in this time, which again, our society looks like our family unit. I think we're all going through a lot, and we're all kind of at the point in this season that it feels like too much. But whatever you can do to bring yourself peace, I pray that you would do that more. And whatever you can do that can bring consistency in this season, I pray that you can do that more. So even something as simple as reading a book together, I am so glad that we are doing this together. I feel peace. I feel comforted. Just, I can't, see you, but I feel your presence. I really, really do. So we will continue on in chapter 3, but first, The World According to Mr. Rogers. Page 178. I have long believed that the way to know a spiritual sense is to know it in our real life. I think the best way to understand about God and peace is to know about peace in our everyday lives. So I want to speak to you no matter what your background of faith is. Whatever brings you peace, do that more. Get creative if it's something you feel like you can't access right now in this season. Whatever brings you comfort and consistency, do that more. Be very, very intentional in this season. Just know that I love you. Okay, top of page 57, we're in chapter 3. Yes, chapter 3, called Enthusiasms. What inspires enthusiasms? Why do people with autism develop enthusiasms? To answer that, it's useful to consider how all kinds of people take comfort in hobbies. Do that more. In hobbies, passions, and collections. If you were to visit my home, you might be surprised to see that I have a glass china cabinet holding more than 100 pieces of walrus tusk in various shapes and sizes. Years ago, on my visit to Vancouver Island, I first came across Inuit ivory carvings, and something about them appealed to me. The ivory walrus tusk used is acquired legally by native peoples who hunted walrus for food, clothes, tools, and materials for indigenous crafts. Perhaps it was the shiny appearance of ivory or the way its smooth texture felt on my hands. As I explained my collection, part of the allure was certainly the detail and visual appeal of the carvings. The way that craftsmen carved the raw material into shapes of walruses, bears, and whales. For whatever combination of reasons, I began collecting these pieces and found emotional satisfaction in the process. I don't think of myself as obsessive, but like a lot of people, I have gone through various phases of collecting. When I lived in the Midwest in my 30s, on weekends I drove to used furniture stores and farm auctions in search of antique furniture. Later, it was old quilts, then Navajo rugs. Beautiful. After that, antique clocks and piano stools and antique slag glass lamps. That I maintain these modest collections doesn't make me unusual, and that's the point. Nearly everyone has passions and interests. They fill a need. They give us pleasure. They make us feel good for reasons we may not always understand. They're part of being human. Why, though, do people with autism display a far greater tendency than others to have these strong passions? Why do their enthusiasms often seem exponentially more powerful than other people's interests? As with any kind of hobby or pastime, it often begins with an emotional response. An experience feeds a basic neurological need to be engaged, to appetite, to appreciate beauty, and to experience positive emotion. When a person with autism develops an interest, we must assume that the particular subject of interest is a good match for that person's neurophilosophy and serves an important function. An adult with Asperger's syndrome explained to me that because connecting socially is challenging, many people with autism direct their energies into areas of interest, leading in some cases to stronger and more focused passions. Michael's focus was on music. When he was 8, long before he could engage in conversation comfortably, he demonstrated the gift of perfect pitch. He could hear the horn of a passing car and spontaneously identify its musical note. Suddenly distracted, he would look up and explain, "B flat." Later, he would hear a song on the radio and sit at the piano and recreate it on the first attempt. He also could immediately transpose songs into other keys on request. As many as 15% of those with autism demonstrate these high-level natural talents or gifts, known as savant skills. But most do not. Many others have splinter skills or strengths, such as rote memory or artistic talent that stand out relative to their overall profile. These unusual abilities are rooted in different learning styles, based on differences in how the brain processes and retains information. Some children feel drawn to information, activities, or tasks that jibe with their more rote learning styles. Some like concrete and factual information that can be easily memorized. Others enjoy activities that require good visual spatial judgment, such as fitting things together. An older child might effortlessly memorize countless facts and details about dinosaurs or sports teams. A toddler might easily complete complex puzzles. Some parents of more challenged children confide that their children show no surprising skills, talents, or interests. Still, children might demonstrate clear preferences for particular kinds of sensory stimulation. Perhaps they seek visual, auditory, or tactile stimulation by flicking their fingers in front of their eyes, producing vocal patterns, or exploring specific textures through touch. Children are often drawn to certain toys because of the sensory input they provide. One toddler I worked with seemed magnetically drawn to electric fans of all kinds. If he knew there was a fan in the room, he would practically fight to get in to see and feel it. And when he encountered that fan, he would inspect it closely from all angles. Something about the sensation, feeling the breeze, seeing the spinning, feeling the vibrations or the combination of all of them excited him and captured his attention. Okay, well, we didn't read too much, but that's a really good stopping point. Okay, so we left off on the top, toward the top of page 59, the title of the chapter called Enthusiasms. But again, what brings you peace? I pray that you would do more of what brings you peace, or that the universe would just provide you with more than just a feeling. So reach out if you need help. Contact your school, contact or email or do a Google Hangouts or Google Meets call with one of your trusted teachers. School counselors are amazing, but just if you're going through a little too much that you have not felt that peace for a long time, please make sure that you're reaching out to someone, and just know that you're not alone. So take good care of yourself, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and we will see you on Monday.